What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Get Ready For It podcast. It's Savage XL back again, delivering that X and that L. So I'm being co-hosted today, and some of y'all may remember her, the Latin Spice, and I'm making sure I'm saying that right.
You are saying it correct.
Okay, all right. Well, guess what, everybody? We have Chris back in the building. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So let me check this out. Let me tell you what happened with King. He messaged me the other day, and let me tell you what he told me. He told me he wanted to stay home and wanted us to do this episode so he can get beauty rest.
Beauty rest.
Now, you know there's nothing beautiful about him. He's ugly, his teeth. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing this because he does this to me every single episode. And he's not here, so I think I'm going to enjoy this more than anyone. But beyond that, Chris?
Yes. Well, I want to say thanks for having me back on the show first and foremost.
No worries. I'm glad to have you back.
But we also, the last time I was here, the wonderful Mr. Casey with ctdgraphicx is joining us again. So thank you again for joining.
No problem.
Happy to see you again.
I'm happy to see y'all too. It's good to be out and around a few people, especially after this pandemic and being on lockdown.
Yes.
That was tough for everybody.
Yeah, it drove me insane.
But everything's back and open now. So, I mean, what have you been doing since, you was in lockdown and everything like that?
I've really just been getting my mind together and just really taking time away from everybody. And I'm kind of always quarantining because I don't deal with a lot of people like that as it is.
Exactly.
This was a little different because it's like you can't get up and just go when you want to. Like, somebody asks you, oh, you want to go here and do something? 90% of the time I may say no, but it's like this time you don't get no requests because you're in the house. But really, I just took this time really just to come up with different ideas for my business. And I done made a lot of money. A lot of money.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I think that's a big thing. Everybody's, on a come up, especially with the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been beneficial?
Huh?
The pandemic has been beneficial to your business?
Yeah,
To a
it
certain
actually
degree.
has. It really
That's awesome.
has.
Well, that's good.
Okay. And I see that you brought a guest with you today.
Yes, I brought Tyler, the celebrity. He actually,
Hey.
I'm gonna let him introduce
Tyler.
himself, honestly, because can't nobody introduce themselves better than they can introduce their own self.
Absolutely. Tell us what's up, man. What is it that you get into?
Oh, hi. I do a lot. Where do I start? I am a socialite. I think
Okay.
that's going to just sum it up a little bit. I'm a socialite with the nonprofit sector, nightlife sector.
Right.
And I'm also working on a few things.
Okay, that's what's up. I love to seeing young people, especially black people, trying to get their lives together and especially become a business.
Definitely.
So, I mean, like, what is it that's got you, so motivated? Because, I really want the audience to know, how old are you?
I am 23.
He's 23 years old. 23 years old.
That's
And
awesome.
you're saying that you have all these things that you're working on right now.
There's a lot that goes into things. I think at a young age, being black and being a guy, we already have a lot of things against us.
That's true.
So I think it was kind of in me to kind of break the cycle, break all generational curses, and kind of speak for other people that can't speak for themselves.
Okay, 100.
So I got a lot to do.
At such a young age. That's amazing. So that's great. And thank you for coming onto the
Right.
show.
No, thank you guys for
Taking
having
this
me.
time out of your schedule, just based off of your IG page. It looks like you're a very busy person.
Oh, a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
Definitely.
Tyler has a whole bunch of things that he didn't even list under his belt. The boy is 23 and got his own event hall that he has where people go
saw
in
that.
and rent.
A venue.
A
hall, right?
lot of, we have different generations
Right.
in our community, and his generation, I think he's definitely like a face for like the new generation coming in. Like I see a lot of people that's young that really gravitate to.
He's an influencer, a
Yeah,
Yeah,
motivator.
he's an
That's
influencer.
awesome.
That's what's
Yes,
up. That's what's up.
definitely.
Either you have it or you don't, and it's
Yeah.
obvious that you do.
It
for
is.
sure.
It's tough.
That's fantastic. That's really great. Honestly, it is.
Thank you.
And it's great to meet you.
Is it like overbearing, just being that age and dealing with it?
To say the least, it's definitely, it can have its overwhelming points, but I think I've learned to kind of strategize and kind of give energy onto certain things and what matters most. And it's been working out so far, so good. I've had some emotional breakdowns, but that's normal.
I'll be honest with you. 23 years old at that
That's a
time. I
lot
mean,
to
I
take
was,
on.
I was dealing with a lot of my, at that time as well. So just seeing you in a business, minded state at this age, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually incredible. So I mean, big ups to you. I mean,
I
already,
appreciate it.
like that's.
Thank you.
Anybody, please go follow this man on IG because seriously, just in the time that I've gotten to know him, I think that it's incredible.
Thanks.
Yeah, because I didn't make my first 20. I didn't make 20K when I was 23.
Casey.
I mean,
makes two of us.
I mean, same here. I mean, honestly, like I don't even know at that age. I mean, I had ideas of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't really putting them, into motion at that time because, again, we were just coming out of college, things of that sort. So I mean, it was a lot I was still dealing with.
Yeah.
And speaking of, like, aren't you a graduate?
I was just gonna
Recent
say
graduate.
Congratulations, hey,
Congrats,
congratulations.
yay.
University of South Florida. Finally, what
Go
a
Bulls.
journey. Yes, recently graduate. It was liberating. It was not only for me, but for the others that look up to me. I didn't want to just be who they see on Instagram, partying, doing these things, but not having the educational background behind it, because education is still important in today's age.
I agree.
Yes.
I feel as though social media has kind of masked what reality is a lot.
It has.
For sure.
It
So
has.
to be a staple and like the leader of the new school is what they call me, I had to show them that, no matter where you come from or what you do, always cover your bases and then let your bases fuel whatever you're going into next.
Okay.
So, question: what did you major in at USF?
Communications.
Communications. Okay.
Communications,
Okay, so
definitely.
Does that play a major part in? What
It
you're-
did. It taught me a lot of public speaking.
Mhm.
I took some business classes because I always kind of knew where I wanted to go. I'm not one of the, I never knew what I wanted to do in college. I knew exactly what I wanted to do because I study. I read since a young age. I was a kid reading books while everyone was outside playing and figuring out what I wanted to do. So it plays a major role because it taught me how to interact with people.
Right.
Being a socialite is not easy as it thinks.
No, not
Oh.
today. No.
There's
I-
times when you everyone's around you and you just want to you feel like there's no one around you, and then you want to be by yourself and you're having breakdowns. It teach you how to conform in the public eye.
Gotcha.
Okay.
No, I agree. So as far as with the major of communications, I noticed that you're listed. You have yourself as the event curator.
Yes.
So how long, prior to your college education,
Mhm.
what made you decide to kind of get into the event? Do you prefer like event curator over like party planner?
Yes.
Okay.
A curator it's the professional title.
Yes.
Party planner is anybody can get a party planner. But when it comes to an event, you have to be strategic.
Yes.
And I think, my first run came from the clubs. I come from a line of a lot of promoters,
Yes.
club
Okay.
promoters.
Gotcha.
So at a young age, I was in the clubs. I was literally 16, youngest one in there, no one ever knew. Studying up, down, left, right, figuring out what is this life? Because I didn't want to be the kid that wants to grow up and be a doctor. I didn't want to be the kid to grow up and want to be a lawyer. I knew I wanted to be in everyone's home, a common household name.
Right.
So that's where the event curation came from. And it just branched off from there.
So you knew, at 16 basically, or even younger, that you wanted to do this,
Yeah.
and you just stuck with it.
Yeah, I watch a lot of TV too. So I figured I wanted to be the one they were looking at. I wanted to be the one, not just for the likes or for the glitz and the glam, but
Right.
for meaning.
Yeah, there's more to it.
I
for
come
sure.
from a household raised by my grandmother, so you know how those go.
See? It's
So
always by grandma and mom.
I'm curious. You say you was raised all around event coordinators.
Mhm.
So what exactly were they doing that made you really get into it? I know obviously they influenced you in some way.
Mhm.
What were those those influences?
Truthfully, okay, they're party promoters. So truthfully, they would always, when it was Christmas time, they had the biggest gifts. They had the nicest cars. So I'm just like, what is going on? I'm not sure what's going on. I'm like, Mom, what do they do? She's like, oh, they're just, people.
Right.
So I got curious and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to your house and see what you do. And seeing that, one person can have an influence of hundreds of people to one event, I'm like, who are you?
Right.
So I had to figure out who my family was. And then once I got older and social media became what it was, I figured out this is cool. This is cool.
So would you say you were popular in school? Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I can
I,
totally picture
I was
that.
pretty popular. I was pretty popular. I was just a free spirit. I was the one that was jumping off. Okay, I got suspended for it, but jumping out of the windows, lower story windows, but not necessarily class clown. But I wanted to do everything. I wanted
free
people to have
spirit.
fun. School was so boring to me. I was just good at it.
Right.
So I was, when my work is done, I'm sitting around looking all right, let's throw a pencil at someone. Let's stir up something just to see what's gonna happen. And I got a lot of reprimands for it, but oh well.
So I'm just kind of remembering back from the Business Talk episode that we did, Casey.
Mhm.
So this was back on season 1, and you were saying that when you were in school at the time, you were doing little parties and things, of that sort, with the graphic design.
Right.
So just with Tyler, and I mean, this will be both of y'all questions. Like, what was it at that time? Did you do any parties in school for event planning and things of that sort? Like, what do you think that this kid has that just blast out from everybody else? Because we can,
sets them apart.
yeah, because I can really see it.
Yeah.
When I first saw Tyler, here's the thing: your image is everything. The way
Right.
how you carry yourself is what puts you aside from other people.
Right.
And like I say, around here, it's not a lot of people that really go for that ambition. Like, that's one of the things that stood out with me when I was younger. Like, I always, like, people may not believe it, but one of my people that I look up to a lot, even though she a female, I love Nicki Minaj. I
Right.
like how she stand out different from everybody.
She does.
And that's one of the things that made me stand out with graphics. And that's what I see him doing with his brand and business at a young age, is standing out from everybody else out here that's trying to do stuff. He's not doing it like your average person in Tampa would try to do it,
Right.
like the hood way. None of
Exactly.
that.
And I think I feel like it's also, you can just tell that you're passionate about it. You know what I mean? It's not just something you're
Right.
doing just for likes, just for follows, or
Right.
so on and so
Right.
forth, or for notoriety. But you can tell seriously that you're really
you.
passionate about it, and you're definitely going to be successful. I mean, you're
I mean,
totally
yeah,
awesome.
obviously. I mean, already.
Amazing.
Godspeed.
Yeah.
I hope so. But SGA was my thing in high school.
Okay.
So I was into playing the pep rallies. I wanted to make the school look nice.
Got
I was
you.
like, throw drapes here. I kind of got bossy, but I knew.
I mean, you have to. You have
enter-
to.
yeah,
Well, that's the
people.
leader.
Yeah. So people always knew, like, when there's a pep rally, there's homecoming, come to football games, the whole cars. That was all me because I love to entertain. I love people have a good time. I like to kind of put on a show for others, not
Right.
listen to myself, and just show what I can do. And it started from there. Then I ran for homecoming and won, and everything just blew up.
Oh, look
Okay.
at you.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
What would you say maybe might be the hardest thing? And I'm just talking about high school as of yet,
Mhm.
but just putting together, because obviously you being popular, you didn't want it to, I'm pretty sure, fail at any of these endeavors. So, like, what was probably like the biggest one that you was like, man, I can't do this too bad. I don't want to mess this up.
Running for homecoming.
Running for
I
homecoming.
think
Okay.
it was senior year. I lost. Okay, I lost sophomore year. I lost terribly. But senior year, the same kid ran again. And they're like, Tyler, please do it. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I mean, either or. It still was fun to run. I mean, I campaigned crazy. Like, I went to people's houses. I had the cookies, the posters.
Oh, so you was going all
You
out.
went
Like,
big.
I wasn't losing this
Right.
time. And I think the hardest part was just knowing that so many people lived through me, and seeing at such a young age I was so vibrant and so social. I think that kind of gave me the gist I need. Walking through the halls, I was like, hey, Tyler, like, can you look at this? Or what do you think of this? And I know I look up to you. And when people say they look up to me, even till this day, it still gives me shock, because you kind of question yourself, like, what did I do so differently?
Right.
And I'm glad I did whatever it was.
You
Yeah,
know, I
it's
think
just genuine.
a lot of people, I think they get that confused. You don't necessarily have to be older than someone for them to actually look
Mm-mm.
up to you. So, I mean,
Absolutely not.
that's a huge compliment. I mean, coming from that, I mean, I can tell that you're humble.
Right.
You know, so I definitely want to, stay with that.
I think it's just in your soul and your energy, your vibe.
It
I mean,
does.
it's-
It didn't come easy. A lot of people are either A, intimidated by we're the same age, or B, intimidated by I'm younger than you. And I think that came a lot of closed doors and snudges and
Right.
things. But I think you have to find yourself. And I knew who I was at such an early age.
Right.
I think that kind of gave me the push I needed. And some people are still finding themselves. So when it comes to older people, even in my industry, it's like, I'm going to speak to everyone but Tyler. Or I went to a room one time, they really crushed my spirit. I was in a conference, I'm getting emotional, sorry. I was in a conference
Please don't
meeting.
cry.
I was in a conference
Casey.
meeting with a lot of people that meant a lot. Like, it was a news crew, like magazines, a lot of big people. I was 18 at the age.
Right.
So, and the CEO spoke to everyone but me. So that kind of took me, I'm like, okay, maybe she's just overlooking me. And then in the end, like, she was just like, oh, I didn't acknowledge you because this is a place for adults and kids don't belong where adults are.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So, but
that's
you felt
horrible.
disrespected at that
Very
time.
disrespected. But then it just gave me a fuel, like, no matter how old you are, you have to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
How did you handle that situation though when it took place?
I just sat back.
You didn't say
Everyone
anything?
noticed, but like everyone, it was an elephant in the room kind of thing. So
Right.
everyone noticed and just looked. And I just presented my offer, which was the best among everyone else. And she went with it, but I still never got any recognition or anything from her. I didn't expect any,
Right.
but it was for a great charity project. So I'm glad, like, no matter how you felt of me, my idea didn't help you at all, but it helped the people that it needed to help.
And that's what's up. I mean, not necessarily step into her level. You know, you didn't have to drop.
No,
You know, you
sure.
maintain.
Yeah.
Remaining humble, and you did what you had to do. Let me ask you, Case, if that same situation would have happened to you, how would you have dealt with it? I mean, the only reason I'm asking you because I know that you're a business owner as well. So I know that being disrespected probably has a lot, that had to do with that.
The proper way would have been to probably handle it like he did, just, ignore it. But honestly, because I know my status on where I'm at with certain people, there's certain stuff I'm just not going to tolerate from certain people around here.
Right.
And it's easy for me to read you and get you together in just a few short words without me getting ugly with you and just pull out a few things and just let you know. Because some people around here, they will do that. They'll try to, step on you or try to knock you down because they missed their wave when it was their turn. Or not even because they missed their wave, just sometimes because people just...
They're envious.
Yeah, they just envious. For whatever reason, they be envious.
And
so, I don't play around with people like that. Don't come for me over my stuff that I'm working hard for, because I worked hard for everything I got.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get out of control with you. I'm just going to gather you politely together.
Exactly. Because you're not, you don't want, there's no reason to show that ugly side. You're already doing what you need to, and you're already successful.
True. Right.
If that would have happened to you right now, Tyler, would you have dealt with it any differently? Like, would you have pulled her aside and been like, hey, the way you handled it was a little wrong, or would you have still handled it the same way?
I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm very today I'm very vocal about my feelings. I'm going to let you know when you're disrespecting me or my feelings are hurt or things, because if you bear those burdens, you'll never go to bed at night.
Exactly.
So I have to let you know, like, hey, I noticed that, and I don't think, I'm just as respectful as you. Like, my grandmother has taught me to, you give the CEO the same respect as the janitor.
And that's the truth.
So,
that's the truth.
Yeah, it would have been, I probably would have put out the source on her and read her to filth, but it would have been very eloquent.
And the truth is, it's like today, even though we all grown and adults, it's still like high school. Like
it
how
is.
People like the you let it slide once, they gonna try you again.
They go
that's
ice
just how
skating.
that's how they
That's
are.
true.
It is. It really is. But that's probably built you to the way you are now.
Yeah.
You're probably tougher, and I think that happens with a lot of businesses, though.
You have to be in any line of business. Like when Casey tells me his things and like my personal experience, I'm like, I can only imagine how I would have reacted years ago,
right?
Or how people my age would reacted. It's crazy.
It shows a level of maturity.
Well, and also just in my experience, that also just kind of relates back to someone's insecurity.
Yeah.
As far as those people, their interaction with you. So that's kind of how I see it.
So this is, and I'm just thinking this now because obviously both of y'all work together, and probably on a lot of things. So how does that function back into society as far as how y'all can work together? Because there's a lot of businesses who don't want to work together. Like you said earlier, they don't want to see another person come up higher than them, or they don't want to see another person do better than them. So working in tandem, how does that, fuel the both of you?
I think working together, like for me personally, working together is going to actually bring more light and actually really can help you grow as an individual versus because one person can't do everything. You have to have other people to help do stuff.
Right.
Even like right now, like I'm doing the graphic design courses, teaching other graphic artists. I'm not afraid of you learning how to do the graphics. You know, it's enough room for everybody to grow.
Exactly.
But me teaching them, I'd have made $3,000 in less than 4 days off of that. So it's like,
right.
Paying the receipts.
But you're helping people.
Exactly.
I mean, you see, and it comes back to you. So.
Right.
Tenfold, definitely. I think I was always taught like there's enough sun for everyone. So I think that success is achieved in numbers, because I still am like a powerhouse, but I had to learn that I can't do everything because it'll never be correct.
Right.
You have to evenly place yourself where you see fit. Me being the leader, I never want to be the boss. I never want to be the ringleader. I just want to be working together.
Right.
Even though it may be my project, but you're an essential part of my project. Yeah. So we all can help each other in a certain way, and people don't see that now, but that's only a failure on your part.
Right.
And that's how you succeed. In all honesty, that is the perfect recipe for success.
I done literally seen people try to take things to where they try to eliminate other people out of the project, and literally their project went nowhere by doing that.
Because they wanted all of the notoriety or they wanted all the credit.
That's all.
See?
Basically all the shine. So, I mean, we're talking about success. So as far as your families, how do they feel about your success at this point? I mean, because obviously you're still young. And, I mean, I went to high school with Casey. So, I mean, I already know, you're very successful at this point. So I know your family's, ecstatic. But you being young, Tyler, how does your family be? I mean, because, like I said, I'm still kind of shocked at the fact that you're 23 and you have so much going for yourself at this point.
My family they're basically my comfort zone. I'm really... Like I said, I have tough skin, but I'm so emotional on the inside only because of life. So my family, they're supportive, but in the beginning, I was just some kid trying to do stuff with them. So I feel like once I proved to myself who I was, I had to literally kind of show them, because I'm telling you these dreams and these goals, and you're looking at me like, oh, okay, sure. What kind of fantasy are you living in? Because it doesn't, from where we come from nowadays, it's just a kind of, you see people on TV, you can never be them because I want you to be something else. You have to break those generational curses, and they see me making strides towards that. So they're behind me 100%, no matter what it is.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Casey, your family?
Oh, they good. You know. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm grown now. Like, they good. Like, they when I first started, you know, before I started making money, I would say my dad, because he didn't, you know, I got most of my skills from my grandparents. Like, you know, all of them were business owners, but my dad, he, you know, worked a 9 to 5, so he didn't really know too much about the business. So in his eyes, he thought graphic design was just a dream. But he recently, like I said, I don't know if I told y'all before or not, but he came back and told me, he was like, I'm glad that you did not stop, and I'm glad that you kept going, because you know, working at the call centers and stuff, that just was not work. That didn't work for me.
You know, it wasn't for you.
Yeah,
for sure.
it wasn't at all.
I mean, I'm glad that you actually started doing it as well. Like I said, just to know somebody personally and to see them be successful. Like I said, I think I can honestly say for a lot of people, you motivate our age group, and I'm saying that because we're the same age.
Yeah, most definitely.
But you know, because of the fact that we went to high school together, and the fact that you have transitioned yourself to the point of being not.
Now you're gonna make me get emotional.
Well, no, but I mean, it's just the truth. I have to pay homage where homage is due. Like I said, just, you know, like Tyler, we're talking. You have to be able to let another person know when they're doing great, when they are succeeding, because we're in a society nowadays to where everybody want to see you do bad, especially as Black African Americans. You know, you know, and like they don't want to see us doing better. And like, and this is actually a segue into my next question. I was going to ask you, like, as far as different races, you know, like what has, you know, have you been getting a lot of different races, or have you seen there's been a rift between one race or things like that? Because you're successful. Do you get that backlash sometimes?
Here's the thing. I like really like I say, I like all races. I will say I think most of my work cater to more like the African American and the mixed race.
Right.
Because I'm more of a person. I like art stuff. I don't like plain Jane stuff. But I have had other people in really other races that done came to me before. I never really had any issues with races before. Like,
and
I never experienced that. Yeah.
Same.
Okay.
I think just being versatile, it really helps me a lot. I did before, I have gotten some, but when people see that, first off, my name's Tyler, and secondly, when I talk to you, I'm speaking very professionally, so it's kind of hard to tell. And then you can tell, like, when you meet them, they're like, well, you're Tyler? Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
So I think it just gives you a nudge in the right direction. Like, no matter where you come from, what you look like, you have potential to be whatever you want to be.
You're not the people stereotype.
That's true.
That's the worst part. Like,
It
it's
is.
awful. It really is. And I wanted to piggyback off of what we were talking about earlier with, you know, the support of the family. You know, it's not just, you know, the old cliche or the old saying, it takes a village. So, and that works not only with, you know, raising a family, it's also with supporting each other in each other's businesses, and, you know, so that it does take a village all the way around.
If I didn't receive the support from my family early on, I wouldn't have been here, because I was so fragile, and I still am.
Right.
But they saw my dream.
Well, I think they know you the best, right?
They do.
You know what I mean?
They do.
They're your first and foremost, your support system that knows who you are inside and out.
I mean, it's a blessing to have the family support you, because without that support from your family, it's very, very, very difficult.
Tough.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, like I gotta honestly say, in my family, you know, we have a lot of support, but because there isn't a lot of success as far as like, you know, making it to the next level, it's sometimes when, you know, you talk about your dreams, it's like, man, I can see you doing it, but it's gonna be tough, and then it's kind of like you're not having that motivation to continue forward because your family isn't behind you. So, like I said, you know, as long as you have that family system, it's great. Now, what in your eyes would you say is true success? Like, is the definition of true success?
When you, to me,
smart man.
To me, true success is really, it's not about how much money you have. It's not about who, it's really when you gain the I can't pronounce the word, but it's when you gain that influence over people to where
Right.
people really are looking up to you, where you really can take one thing and you can say you accomplished it, and that accomplishment has changed other people's lives and inspired them to do things. The money and stuff, those are just like pieces to the pie that kind of come along with it, I think.
Right.
Honestly. Well, I mean, money is a big part of success, but as you see during this pandemic, money didn't mean nothing.
It didn't.
Yeah.
So
It didn't.
it
It's
really,
irrelevant.
yeah,
Honestly,
it really came down to really just, you know, your accomplishments and what people was doing on social media that was helping other people get through the pandemic and stuff. So yeah, that's what to me, that's what I look at success is.
Okay. Tyler.
I've never been able to answer this question directly. I've been asked it so many times. When I have a friend in Indonesia. She does all of, like, majority of my graphic work, and she sent me a
Y'all caught
backpack.
that shade.
Casey's always busy and booked up. Don't even.
I mean, Casey, that's a good thing
Booked
for
up.
you, though. That's a good
Yeah.
thing.
Always booked up. Anyway, so she sent me a letter. She made me an actual backpack. She weaved it, and it was like, success is never what you do for yourself, but what you do for others. So I think
True words.
success for me is not a dollar amount. It's not a car or a house. Success for me is basically seeing other people live out their dreams and what success means to them.
Okay.
If I can help you get over a step, get over something, or just advice, I feel like I've done my part.
That's real.
Yeah,
Okay.
it really
Exactly.
is.
Okay.
Great mentality.
It really
sure.
is.
Yeah.
For sure.
And see that even like when I look at you guys, like right here and right now, like how y'all have like your show and stuff. One of the things I noticed, like, okay, how y'all say King isn't here today, but he didn't say, okay, well, I'm not coming today, I'm gonna cancel this. He, you know, say, you know, I'm gonna let y'all two take over and do it. That's how you do.
You develop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how you
It's your
develop and
development.
stuff. You know, because
That is true.
you know, I done seen it on times where, you know, one person, it was like it's their show, and if they weren't there, nobody
a
was.
wrap.
that was
Exactly.
it.
That was
Mhm.
Yeah.
awkward. That was
Yeah.
awkward.
I mean, it's like that. I think a lot of times, a lot of people who do have the quality to be leaders, they have to learn how to delegate too. You can't
Yes.
always maintain that leadership.
Yes.
Sometimes
Mhm.
there might be a person who has a little bit more knowledge in a certain situation that you can, learn from.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think that's
Agree.
dope. And again, since Casey brought it up, thank you, King.
Thank you, King.
That's the only thing he gonna get from me.
That's true. But yeah, that's definitely being a leader. You have to know when it's not your time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my team has grossed to a substantial amount of people, but I've always want to be in the back end. It could be my project, but I'm handing it off to you.
Right.
I can do most of the work and you can just do one piece, but this is your project because I know how much this means to you. I think I never surface myself on anything because myself comes from you guys as
Right.
in my industry. Even with anybody else's, like, you should always be very open to ideas. We have panel discussions.
Mhm.
I don't always agree with them. They don't always agree with me, but
Right.
we have to come to a common stance of
Open-minded.
grounds
Mhm.
of things, even though, yes, I may be the boss, but the boss is only as good as its workers.
Well, that's the difference between a boss and a leader, though. So, I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
it's an
Absolutely.
actual leader
Yes,
instead of
for
being
sure.
a boss.
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah, you're not about micromanaging. You give the people the freedom. Again,
No.
it's all on your confidence on how you develop those people.
That's true.
So, and I did want to ask a question though. I noticed that you and I know both of you guys, but you are also a major in the nonprofit and the
Yes.
volunteering. And I did see on your own IG that
Mhm.
you volunteer, and I know that the Little Care Bear Center is a major thing for you.
Oh.
So I wanted to commend you for that, and I wanted to ask you what brought you to the center and what exactly you do, and and but it's great. You should be emotional because that's awesome. Honestly, it is.
It's giving
Little
back to the
Care
youth.
Bears for me is a place. Okay, hold on. I'm not gonna look at you guys. Little
When
Care
y'all
Bears for
Tyler
me.
will
I got
actually
a
start
tissue, but it
crying.
was you.
I will.
No,
I
it's
will
okay. We
cry.
got tissue.
But honestly, it shows your emotion and your passion for it. So
Yeah,
please,
the
I mean,
love
like,
that you have.
absolutely.
It is. Little Care Bears
Don't make
is
me cry.
something that it's my friend owned it. He's one of my really close friends. He owned this center, but he was very absent because he's like a mogul.
Right.
He does everything. So I wanted to start volunteering. I don't want to. Okay, how can I put this? When it comes to urban education, it's very lackluster. I think urban education is something that's overlooked. It's watered down. It's not an Ivy League education. So I believe in getting kids. You teach a kid. Children are sponges. You teach them young, and they'll grow up to be something amazing.
Absolutely.
So one of my ventures is opening a private school. But once you go in there, they're used to eating off of the floor. They're used to not saying yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. They're not used to proper things that children should be taught. They want to have their phones. They don't want to go outside anymore. They feel like they're accustomed to this false sense of reality.
The basics, right?
So when you go there and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like waving. I'm like, can you speak? Can you say hello? He's like, hi. I'm like, all right, use your words all the time. Use your manners. This is how we walk in a line. This is how we write our names. This is who our parents are. This is what manners are. Teaching them how to eat at a table. Teaching them the alphabet. It's something of having such an impact on someone that they run to at the end of the day when something goes wrong, when they can't figure out something. So volunteering with them has been such a light because it shows that where there's a lack, there should be a fill. People think of daycares and preschools as just a place where there's diaper changing and babies crying, but these are the first steps of your life.
Right.
So your parents are working 9 to 5, sometimes 9 to 7, even later than that. So they don't spend as much time with you. So it's our job as not only volunteers and leaders, but as even the staff members to kind of mold you into going to kindergarten.
Right.
If you can't learn how to spell your name or read and write, then you're not going to be in kindergarten. They tell you no, and you're wondering why. I'm getting emotional. This is a real life story. You're wondering why you're 5 years old in a classroom with 3 and 4 year olds, and you can't really fathom why.
Right.
And it's only because of your development skills, but I can see you're one of the brightest kids in the room, so I'm not understanding. It all comes from, it does take a village to raise a child.
Right.
And if that village is corrupt in any way, that doesn't set up success for the children.
It has a major impact.
I've seen it, and it's heartbreaking because you see the good in them.
Right.
Like I was raised that children have veils over their eyes, so everything they see is good. And if you lead them in the wrong direction, it's hard to reel them back.
And I know that obviously daycare is a array of ages as far as children's, but the first 5 years of a child's development is the most important.
They're extremely impressionable.
Yeah, and that's kind of where having someone like you there to volunteer, whether it's the first 5 years or afterwards, but it's just that influence at the beginning is so important, and it's just great that you're doing that for the community. You're doing it for those kids.
Thank you.
So I know everyone appreciates it, but I really do.
Thank
As a mom,
you.
I totally appreciate you doing
Thank
that.
you so
Absolutely. I mean, I agree with you as well, man. I mean, like you said, my grandma used to tell me that kids are the innocence, of the world. They haven't really been stained, yet with all of the nastiness that goes on in the world nowadays. And then, of course, how they're raised, all the things they're, around their society. And like you said, their family maybe because of those situations is how they cultivate and get to the point they're at. So, I mean, same thing like Chris said, I appreciate you for doing that. So, I mean, big ups to you for that. Now, let me ask, because of that, do you have any younger siblings?
I do.
Or are you the oldest?
Okay. So I have two. Okay. My brother, I'm the middle child in a lot of things. I have, for my mom, there's 2 of us.
Okay.
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
But I have like my little cousins. We're just like brother and sisters, and they're younger than me.
Okay.
So, and watching them grow up, because now you're like they're 16, 14, so they see, like I've watched them develop, and I'm so glad I had a part of teaching them how to drive, teaching them how to tie their shoe, teaching them how to be actual people in life. So being the youngest and like the middle child kind of has its perks, because you're the one that you can kind of mess up, you kind of can't, but they're looking at you. So yeah, that's where I stand with that.
Well, I know I'm the oldest, and I know I get all the grief.
Tell me about it.
I get all the grief. I don't get no leeway at all. So
None.
My sister, she the middle child, so she gets all the leeway.
That works.
Well, the youngest in my family got it easy.
Yeah.
You're kind of as the oldest, you set the impression for
That's
everyone,
true.
for all the rest of your siblings.
So I kind of want to go back to a question we asked before. We talked about it for you in high school and things like that. What has been one of the biggest events that you've done as of right now?
One of the biggest events I've done, there's a couple. One of the biggest events I've done was, of course, a nightclub. There were about 1,200 children, teenagers, in one event. It was an artist. I can't remember who. We've done so many. It was an artist. I want to say it was Tokyo.
Okay.
Tokyo's my first solo show. Like,
we're talking about Tokyo from Love and Hip Hop, right?
Tokyo Jets, no,
okay.
No, Tokyo, Tokyo Jets, the rapper. I had a party. She came and it was bananas.
Okay.
And I think that's been my biggest solo show. But I've done like A Boogie. We've done.
Wow.
who else? Oh my God, there's so many. I'm blanking. We've done A Boogie. We've done Tokyo. We've done a lot of other rappers.
Do Milan too.
Milan Christopher. That's another event for adults. But there's so many. But I think putting on a show is such hard work, and to be held at a position that I am for so long, a lot of people would have quit. They did quit. It's not for them, but you have to have a certain level of understanding for not only the well-being of people at the event, but understand what this event is doing.
Right.
You're not only having a party. It's always more than a party was my slogan once before. It's having people somewhere where they feel safe, having a good time, releasing some stress.
Right.
School and life is really hard.
It is.
So
it is
being an outlet as to where people can have fun and just be wild and do what they want for a little bit is challenging, but it's so rewarding.
Has all that changed you? I mean, just learning.
Yes.
It has.
Oh, it has. It's. I have such tough skin now because of doors slamming in my face from being so young.
Right.
The respect thing and people my age, like, what are you doing?
Right.
Things like that. You develop tough skin because no matter what happens, you're responsible for whatever happens in your life. Either you can make it a good one, or you can write it so however you're liking.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have to be sure with yourself and know who you are, and everyone else just doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
So
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. So, where do you, as far as, do you want to? Do you see yourself doing this long term, or what's your kind of long term goals?
Long term.
Career?
Oh God, the sky's the limit. Long
It is.
term. My long term goals are, of course, having a thriving private school all over the country. Having a chain of private schools, being one of the biggest nonprofit organizations there is, not only for children, but for anyone that is in need. I think we target the wrong people sometimes. I think we target the ones that, like the poster children, instead of what makes sense.
Right.
And of course, like, I do want like a restaurant lounge kind of thing just for the party side of me.
Nice.
But that's my overall goal. And real estate, being a real estate mogul.
Okay.
Okay.
You have your license?
Just about a
Okay.
couple weeks
Congratulations.
Really?
Couple weeks out,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
They
That's
doing big
not an
things.
easy
That's
thing
kept in
to
the bag.
do.
Yeah,
Right.
it is,
Look
but
at
it's
him.
more than just selling a house. It's selling a home.
Absolutely.
true.
Selling a
Yes.
home is where people can, because we've moved in my house when I was in first grade, and now I'm 23. So it's something about having a home that really sets the bar. Like, you can see my height measurement still there. You see
That's so sweet.
everything. You see, like, where I lost my first tooth. My parents were like creative junkies. And just I can remember, being young, running home from school. My grandma was there making us cookies, ready to come home. Where we
You're
sat
now
down.
emotional here.
I'm trying to
That's
keep
so
it together.
sweet.
We eat dinner together. We tell us about our days. There are times when no one wants to talk to anyone. So I think it's not about selling a house. It's about selling a home. It's about selling a dream to where you are. And that's what I do with anything. I feel as though, like I said, life is what you do for others and how you make others feel. When it comes to nonprofit, you have to really put yourself aside. And I look at things like things could really be worse. When I
That's
see,
true.
when I see, I'm getting here it comes. When I see people and, you think that, F my life is bad. And then you see someone coming to you like, Tyler, there's no way I can like provide food for my children. Can you help me? It's a different life. And I was crying about some kids skip me in Chick-fil-A. Like, you have to, I think life for me has humbled me to a point where things could have been completely left. And if you have the impact to help someone else, you should always lend a hand, because you never know when that hand needs to be lended to you.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I promise you, if we wouldn't have specified his age at the beginning of this, nobody probably would have known.
No,
Honestly,
absolutely
you and I
No,
kind
for
of wish
sure.
we didn't, but I mean, I just wanted people to know, like, this.
No, but it needs to be known, because he should
exactly, yeah,
be
but
proud of that. And it's not only that, but your family should be proud of who you are.
Absolutely.
Just like I told Casey, I mean, it's this doesn't happen every day to have a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say you're a man, but
Yeah.
to have someone just
Still feels
to
weird.
accomplish so much is really something you and your family need to be proud of, for sure.
They
Your
are.
circle.
They're my cheerleaders, my friends. I don't have many, only because a lot of people, Casey knows, I'm so hard to get in contact with, only because I'm constantly moving. So my phone would be in my hand one time, then my assistant will have it, like, doing whatever she does. Normally, like, on my Instagram, they're the ones responding, because I just can't. But I do like to sit down and think that, because Casey yells at me all the time, like, you never respond to me, you never pick up the phone. I'm like, I'm busy saving the world, sorry.
He do, but he's hard to track down. Like, I thought I was hard to track down, but no, he's hard to track down.
So can I ask you, do you have anything really major coming up in the near future? I mean, I know we have the pandemic going on, and I did see some things on your Instagram, on IG. But anything that you wanted to share?
Major things
In the works?
Besides the private school, besides real estate, I'm getting a big. I'm doing a big event for like young entrepreneurs like myself.
Okay.
I think a lot of people go wrong, especially with customer service in these days with a lot of their businesses. And when I see someone close in my age or younger than me having, you know, an idea, I think you should fuel the idea, but teach them the right way.
Right.
So I not only want to bring awareness to their business, but get us all around each other to actually see like this can be done. Casey does graphics. I do events. Casey can do my flyers. Right. You guys have a radio show, you know, promotion. There's things you guys can come out. There's so many pieces to a puzzle. And we're taught to, you know, be self-made and this, that, and third, but no one's really self-made.
You can't do it without someone else. It's
No
true.
one.
And that just goes back to our last show that we had Casey on.
Yeah.
You know, it's about supporting each other.
Exactly.
Not hating on each other and not trying to, you know what I mean? It's about empowering each other, regardless whether you're, you know, male, female, you know, minority or not. It's empowering each other to do better and to be better. And that's where everyone succeeds
That is
at the end
true.
of the day.
Yeah.
We're all different pieces of a puzzle, and when you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
That's true.
So I think you have to be it's in today's age. It's not about what you know; it's about who you know.
It is true.
So
That's true too.
the people you know will not only bring success to your business, but they will feed you whatever you need. My friends, because of, you know, the jealousy there is at my age, my friends are way older than me.
It doesn't stop.
And they have
It doesn't
It
stop.
continues.
it's
It
still
get worse.
It does. It really does. And I'm not even at the level that y'all guys are at right now. Like, I'm still working my way up, and the jealousy doesn't stop. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you know you have people that are hating on you, that actually means you're doing something right.
That's true.
You know, I know it sucks to be hated, but at the same time, you're doing what you want to do. You're achieving your dreams.
Right.
Keep succeeding.
I
That's your.
That's true.
Obviously, shouldn't be any revenge by no means. But
People just hating
you
because
speak
they
for
don't.
yourself with your success.
They don't have that motivation to do it themselves, or they're upset because you're doing what you want to do, but they're not doing it.
It's
Absolutely.
never about you. It's that it's you. That's
Yeah.
what people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I got a point. It's hard when Marquise be saying like not at child level yet, because when we was in high school, to me, I always look at Marquis as like a star kind of,
Man.
because in high school he was like the star on the basketball team and stuff. So it's kind of hard when I hear him
Left
say
that
stuff
out.
Like
It's
that.
just, you know, I love you to death.
Yeah.
It's just all about applying yourself.
That's
Just
true.
getting yourself in that position, your mindset.
Because it's a lot of
That's all
talent
it is.
within him over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you know,
Sure.
Casey, going back to 2013, that was when I lost my uncle, and I think we spoke about it on the business episode as well. You know, we had I think we had lunch at Applebee's, and, you know, I was telling you, and even since then, I honestly have to say, like, you know, my uncle's passing has had so much effect on like my mental as far as the
That
things
is
I
true.
want to do. So, and honestly, you know, I'm 31 right now, and the fact that I haven't gotten back to that point just mentally, it does affect me. But I mean, honestly, looking at you guys, that's the motivation.
That's
you know,
true.
so like that's the true motivation. It has nothing to do with age. It's just the fact that you're doing something that you want to do and you're achieving your dreams. You want to motivate people like that.
That's
you
true.
want to motivate everybody.
It only
So.
came from going back to my grandma. I lost her in 2009, and she was my. Don't look at me, Casey, because you know what's coming. She was like my rock, my knight in shining armor. She literally spoke so much life into me at such a young age. 2009. I don't remember how old I was, but okay, let's do it. I was 11, 97 to 2007. Okay,
You
anyway,
was a baby, man.
yeah, I was like 12, 13. And the life she spoke into me has set the tone for everything I've done. I can remember I was in karate. She told me, like, I want you to be the best you can at everything you do. Everything that comes against you, you have to knock down the barriers. I was actually we were breaking boards in karate, and I could not break the board. And she told me that, and I broke every board thereafter. So I think that's where my compassion comes from, and then to succeed, and then my tough skin comes from the naysayers and people projecting their fears onto you. Just because you fail to do something, that's not my fault, one. And two, God is the restorer of all time. You can pick up and do anything. Like, I think this radio show is the coolest thing ever. It's so cool. This is my favorite course, was radio production in college, because I'm like, it's so cool to be behind a microphone, interviewing people, talking to them, seeing what they do, like going out in the real world. This is like, I'm so grateful to be here because this is what you guys want to do. So me being a part of it only makes it even more better, because who I am, who he is, who everyone that graces these microphones are, that's building a brand for you guys.
It's
that's
attributed.
building your platform, and that's building you to help your dreams and what you want to do, where you want to go. And this may only be a stepping stone, but who knows what you guys have after this. This is so
Exactly.
cool. I'm
It's
like,
the start, right? It's the start.
you have to start.
Somewhere.
You have to start.
Well, we just I want to do a quick game real quick before we get ready to get out of here.
Mhm.
So give me one moment here. Let's see. I have a question. Since both of you are huge on social media, if social media ceased to exist today, what would y'all do?
Footwork.
I would be fine. Like, I mean, it doesn't happen when you think about it. How many times Instagram done went and shut down before?
Mm-hmm.
But I keep database of all my clients and email and stuff, so I know just how to get to where I am. And like he say, footwork. You got to get out there and hustle.
Get out there
Yeah.
and where you
Old
started.
school.
Yeah.
You
A hustle,
Where you
a hustle
started.
not gonna go without.
Since I think a lot of people nowadays don't really know what the hustle is, can y'all elaborate for 'em what y'all mean by footwork?
I'm just gonna say this. A lot of people I think get hard workers and hustlers mixed up together. Those are two
preach.
separate things. Like, they're not the same. A hustler is a person who's not gonna go without. They're gonna
Yeah.
get out there and
They
do
gonna
it.
get it.
And
No matter what.
Yeah, even when the door's shut in your face, you're
You
gonna
still
keep
finna go
going.
get
By
it.
any
Yeah.
means
Yes.
necessary.
You
right?
know, that to me, that's a hustler.
And just for everybody who don't understand, hustling does not mean drugs and things like that.
Oh,
Hustling,
right.
yeah,
Please.
that hustling
Don't
can
be
be
closed-minded. No.
yeah, like hustling can be just going. You have a family to feed. You going
Mhm.
out to get it. Working at a labor job is hustling because you're trying to get money to feed your
Listen.
family. Yeah,
Mhm.
like that's hustling.
This
So-
is definitely an air conditioning era of children.
Yes, it is.
But
Mm-hmm.
footwork is to me is I was one passing out flyers, hanging up posters. I was one shaking hands like, hey, I'm Tyler, this, that, and third. I used to walk around with a crown. I had so many of them. I would spray paint them different colors, add glitter to them, add stuff. But it got people to know, like, what is this kid doing? Who is this kid? Like, what's going on? And they followed me. So I would always get back. Like I tell people, you have to get it out of the mud when it's no rain.
Yeah.
It's all rain, no sunshine. You have to understand that only flowers bloom from hard work.
Yep.
So I'll do what I did in the beginning. So if Instagram shut down, I'm back on the streets, like doing hand out flyers, shaking hands, just getting people back to know like what hard work actually is.
And I think at the end of the day, though, I think that it should be a combination of both at all times.
Yes.
You know, you
It should.
never
Well,
lose
absolutely.
that part of it, right?
Well, I mean, I think I think they both go hand in hand because
They
with the
do.
hard,
For
yeah,
sure.
with the hustling, you have to have hard work.
Absolutely.
I think this pandemic for me, because I have a lot of people that I come in contact with through social media and stuff. This to me really has showed me a lot about a lot of people who's really a hustler, who's not, people that you think really have it, like who really like. I done seen people who were here come down to here during this pandemic
Yep.
because
Yes.
they didn't know what to do.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
So
So have I.
it just showed a lot.
And the real them shows
Yeah.
who they really are when they have nothing but time.
Exactly.
You see people for who they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then the next question is going to be, what would you choose? Would you choose with a client who's paying you top dollar, or would you choose a client who's easygoing?
Easygoing.
Easygoing.
Money is never the object.
Okay.
Casey.
In my particular situation, and this is why I would say why I would choose possibly the top dollar, because I have a lot of clients.
Okay.
So you can be easy going all day, but if you're not able to pay a certain price, I can't 100% give you that time that I'm going to that you're probably going to need, because I have to still serve all these other clients that's paying versus the client who is paying top dollar. I can afford to possibly, give these other clients who paid to a few other designers or, pass up. Like, I can't, I done that before. The whole nice thing, you're easy going.
Yeah.
I didn't get nowhere by getting things from being easy going. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to take the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen, it's all about balance.
I can agree. Yeah.
Right? It's about balance.
I can agree.
Because I look at it, if I don't take it, then the person that is easy going, they're going to make me out to be a monster in the end.
That's true. It,
And they'll
Nothing
do it.
wrong with that.
had my days.
Well, I have to say, having you on the podcast here, Tyler, Casey, you coming back and joining us. This has been absolutely amazing.
Love it.
I want everybody to go and follow. Everybody follows Casey already. I mean,
They do.
everybody follows Casey, but I want
Celebrity.
everybody to go and follow Tyler. Like, I mean, I really want everybody to go
Please
and
do.
please go look at this man's Instagram page. You want to shout it out for him?
Tyler the celebrity.
Oh, it was that simple.
Just that
It was
simple.
that simple. Casey, you want to shout yours out?
CTD Graphics.
Oh, see, everybody already know that one. And,
The celebrity graphic designer.
and Chris.
resilient_C_.
Beautiful. And everybody already knows Savage XL once again has that X and that L. Get ready for it. Bye, y'all.
Take care, everybody.